Start, man.
Good morning, students. This is Renuka Vadnala, PGT in English from SLB Tsrs&Jc Vikarabad. Yesterday, we have discussed UNIT-5, Opportunities for Youth by Jawaharlal Nehru. Today, we will get into remaining paragraphs. Before going into that, we will try to recapitulate some important points from yesterday's class. In yesterday's class, we have discussed what actually Nehru going to appeal to youth. First thing is the coordination between thought and action. So, thought without action is abortion, and action without thought is folly. That is the first point. And even he appealed to dream big. And the third point, happiness is an inner state of mind. It is little dependent on outside environment. And the fourth point, he conveyed that we have to not to focus on bad in others or in other countries. Just we have to try to gather whatever good in others or in other countries. So these are the main 4 points he conveyed yesterday's paragraphs. So today we will try to learn some more points from his speech. So yesterday till 10th paragraph we have completed. Let me read the 11th paragraph and I will give line by line explanation. So next, I am trying to explain to you how my thinking developed in these matters. The more I thought and the more I learned, the more I saw how little I knew and how much more there was to learn. One of my regrets today is that I have no time to pursue these studies properly by reading or thinking or writing. Because writing for me is essentially an aid. Aid means here help to thinking. In trying to write, one has to think more concisely than otherwise. Here he is going to convey how to develop the art of thinking. So then only we can get good ideas. Then we will try to automatically to implement so that we can develop ourselves as well as our nation. So here, I suppose I must not complain of my present lot. What I would like you to do first of all is to think. This is the fourth point he wants to convey. Thinking is something which does not come automatically to a person. Gossiping with a neighbor is not thought. If you repeat something which somebody else has said, it is not thought. I do not expect all of you to become mighty thinkers, though some of you may. But I would like all of you to think and to develop the art of thinking. Nothing is more helpful to thinking than reading. That is, reading intelligently, because thereby you get other people's thoughts, and by weighing them, you can think yourself. I have often said that it is very unfortunate that people think and read so little nowadays. Especially in India, I do not call newspaper reading, but any reading which makes you think is useful reading. Even if it is a very good novel. So, great novels always make one think because they are pictures of life painted by great minds. These last two lines will come under third annotation. Great novels always make one think because they are pictures of life painted by great minds. So, in this paragraph, he wants to help us how to develop our art of thinking. So, gossiping with neighbor is not a thought. So what is thought? How we can develop our thinking art is by reading. And he has given example. Newspaper reading is not reading. At least a novel or biographies of some personalities, great personalities, so that we can get the whole life experiences, at least 10% by reading an autobiography of a personality, so that we can get at least 10% experience of their life, because novels are painted by great minds. So by reading books, by reading novels, we can develop our art of thinking, so that we will get good ideas. But so many are interested in, like in gossiping or whatever, means wasting time. So instead of that, try to develop your art of thinking by reading some good books or good novels. So this is the paragraph which conveys how to develop our art of thinking. Next, if you think about the 5-year plans, you will find what a vital, means main, part the engineer plays in them. We shall require tens of thousands of engineers and hundreds of thousands of overseers. Overseers means here you can take like supervisors, mechanics, and other technicians to our plants. The whole world is becoming more and more a world of trained people. They need to be trained in two ways. They must be trained in mind and have some vision and understanding of the world picture. Then they must be trained in particular jobs which they can do well, whether it be science or engineering or medicine or education. Such are the skills which will build India. So you may get doubt why he is giving all the advices, suggestions. What is our part in building nation? So if you watch 5-year plans, you will come to know how many engineers or mechanics, technicians needed to frame that 5-year plans. So what he was telling, all the youth should be trained in two ways, in mind as well as in developing country, means they can see the whole picture of world, how other countries are developed, so they may try to develop even our country also. So whether it may be science or engineering or medicine or education, so they must be trained in two ways, means as well as skill, and they have to see the picture of the world. Next, frankly, the job of the politician will not build India, although I speak as a politician. A politician is a useful person in his own way, though it is conceivable that in a perfect society, the politician will fade away. But it is not conceivable that the experts will fade away. So, what he wants to tell, there is a wrong perspective in our minds. The nation is in politician's hand. So what he was telling, as a politician, he is telling sometimes, after sometimes, politician may fade away, but not youth, means engineering, doctors, whatever other technicians. So the nation's future is in not in the hands of politicians, it is in the hands of you. You means here youth. So the next 3 lines will come under fourth annotation. There will be always a need of the engineer and the scientist. They can't fade away, even if the politician may fade away. However, I do not think the time is near when the politician will fade away. So what he was telling, after some time, politician may fade away, but not a scientist, not an engineer. So their services are needed to develop our country. So these will come under fourth annotation. Try to understand those 3 lines. Next, you are young. I should like you to have the pride of youth and the ambition of youth to do something worthwhile and big. All of you may not be geniuses, but some of you might yet to do worthwhile things in some department of human activity or other. I do not like people who have no pride and ambition and are just sloppy people. Sloppy means unsystematic or careless, means without any ambition or pride. So, what he was wishing from youth, you must be very pride and ambitious. So, I am not expecting all you have to become geniuses, but at least you have to become pride and ambitious in your field at least. And he was telling, I don't like the people who are sloppy, means careless or ambition less. Next, I am not using the words pride and ambition in a small personal sense. I do not mean the pride of getting money, which is the silliest of all types of pride. Pride should consist in doing your job in the best possible manner. If you are a scientist, think of becoming an Einstein, not merely a reader in your university. If you are a medical man, think of some discovery which will bring healing to the human race. If you are an engineer, aim at some new invention. The mere act of aiming at something big makes you big. And he was appealing, we should be pride and ambitious in our field. But here, pride means not gaining money. And he was explaining that if you are a scientist, think like to become an Einstein. If you are not like a reader in university. If you are medical man, think of some medicine which will bring our human race life. If you are an engineer, try to aim at some new invention. So don't limit your knowledge. So first in earlier paragraphs only he told that dream big. So just don't think of your job or like a student in university. So dream big, think big. So this is the main appeal to youth. So the mere act of aiming at something big makes you big. So how much big you think, that much big person you become. So that automatically that will help in building our nation. Next, if my colleagues and I and others who function on the public stage today appear big leaders to you, look back on how we became so. We may have had some virtue and some ability, but essentially we became what we were because we had some ambition and pride. Because we hitched, means tried, our wagon means vehicle, to a star. Because we tried to do big things, and in so trying, our stature increased a little. Little. Stature means here the respect coming from success. So he was giving an example of his own life. Here, I and my colleagues are standing before you on a stage as leaders. So you can imagine the hard work behind it in becoming like this. So whenever we were youth, we dreamt big. So we tried our vehicle to a star, means that much high dream. That's why we are here today. So what he was appealing to youth, to big dream. So it is not what you say that matters, but what you do. Always there is a saying, action more than preach. Means what you say is nothing, but what you do is matters. But think therefore of the vast, means big opportunities that the world offers to those who are keen of mind, strong of character, and fleet of foot. Think of the opportunities that India offers. I know better than you of the difficult problem is of India, the suffering and misery of numberless people. we are trying to meet those problems and solve them, not by magic, but by strong will and hard work. This is also already repeated in paragraphs. So we have so many problems in our country, but we will try to solve them by our willpower and hard work. It is not a matter, we can't solve all those by doing a magic. Compulsory, we have to strive, we have to work hard with strong willpower. There is no magic in this world except the occasional magic of human personality and the human mind. It takes time and perseverance to do big things. Perseverance means here determination, means strong willpower, we can say, to do big things. It will not to do be faint hearted. Faint hearted means timid and means lack of courage, you can say. One meets with failure occasionally, but one has yet to go on. Success does not come suddenly or without setbacks. Underline this line. Success does not come suddenly or without setbacks. So you have these great opportunities in India. Prepare yourself for then grow strong in mind and body. Have that inner urge to do big things and have no doubt that you will do big things. So what he was suggesting, use all the opportunities the country gives you and try to think big and put your energy, knowledge in big things so that you can build our nation like other countries in world. So what is his main appeal? So use your sources in becoming successful in your life. So it is not so easy. You can't do magic to become success. You have to do hard work with strong willpower, 100% determination. For example, you can take this situation. We can't come out of our homes, but though also we are trying to reach our goals. What is our goal now? To complete our intermediate, so that we can step ahead for our future goal. So how many we are using this opportunity, this stage? Just think yourself. Okay, so like this, you have to utilize your resources coming from your parents, teachers, and institutions from country also, and try to become a means you can reach the pinnacle of success in your life. So automatically our country also will be developed. We can feel proud of our country really, not only uh, by uh, taking birth in this country, but becoming a citizen, good citizen of this country. This is the overall view of the unit opportunities for youth. So the main points I want to explain one more time. First one is to dream big. Second one is always prepare coordination between thought and action, and don't find faults in others. Try to get some good from others, and day by day always try to develop your art of thinking, and use or utilize your resources in becoming success. So this is the main points he wants to appeal to youth. So it was written or spoken in those days after freedom, but it is suitable for present also. Okay, this is the theme of the lesson. Next, I want to give some assignments. Anyhow, I think you have written yesterday's 2 annotations, and try to write remaining 2 annotations, C and D. I have reminded you while reading paragraphs also. The third one, great novels always make one think because they are pictures of life painted by great minds. You can write introduction and context and explanation. Next, fourth one, there will be always a need for the engineer and the scientist. They cannot fade away even if the politician may fade away. So last paragraphs. You can write those 4 annotations and as well as question answers also. 4 question answers I will read. What is happiness according to Jawaharlal Nehru? Not becoming rich. Whoever's action and thought will go hand in hand. They are the people who are very happy in their life. You can explain in 6 to 8 lines. It is given in your textbook also. Second question, what quality of Gandhi does Nehru appreciate in the essay? What is the best quality he has? Always he used to find good in others. He never focused bad in others. That is the best quality of Gandhiji Nehru appreciated in our text. Next question. Nehru advises us to develop the art of thinking. How can one achieve this? He told by reading good books or at least novels so that we can get the whole experience, life experience of great minds, means great people. Fourth question, the mere act of aiming at something big makes you big. Elaborate. Last paragraphs we have. So after that, if you go through your textbook, you have some exercises. 5.3 stress. So you have in each and every module different grammar topic. After completing all the modules, you can do all the exercises which are given after the every unit. So here what are the related with our text I am giving as homework. So try to work on it. Here I have mentioned only exercises numbers with the page number. If you have textbooks with you, go through the page number 74, matching words from exercise 5.4, 5.4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4 also you can do with the help of dictionary. Next you have web patterns. So after knowing the rules of web patterns, you have 5 rules in web patterns. You can do those exercises after listening web patterns. Here idioms and phrases are given under 5.5. Some are used in our textbook. I want to explain one by one. On page number 75. If you have textbook, please refer. Beam in one's eye. Mode means we have this in paragraph. I didn't get. So the meaning, we are aware of the small defects of others, but are unaware of our own major faults. The paragraph which is explained about finding faults in others is worst, and only we have to receive good from others. Next, second one, get behind one's mind. So the meaning, understand oneself by going beyond the superficial. So we have to think ourselves. Hitch one's wagon to a star. So in dreaming big. So hitch means nothing but the pulling the vehicle towards to the star. Means dreaming big. Aiming at something big. So that we can reach big. We can become big. Next, fleet of foot. Fleet of foot. The phrase means ready to run or grab the opportunity. Means using the opportunity. These are the idioms and phrases used in our text. After that, on page number 78 also, 2 comprehension passages are given from our text. You can go through that. After doing these homeworks, let it corrected by your concerned subject teachers by producing your homeworks in your WhatsApp groups or whatever. So this is the class for today from Opportunities for Youth. Thank you for this today.
Renuka, you have a lot of time. Still 20 minutes are left.
Means, shall I start another topic, ma'am?
No, don't start. You should have go through the points. You have done very fast today. At least grammar points you tell again that give examples for that idioms and phrases and that.
I have given, ma'am.
Yeah, try to do that because you have 20 minutes left still. Go with annotations. What is the context you have to write in that and that all that.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So here I will give you a small explanation and annotations how you have to write. Here first annotation, you can see, you can refer textbook. Thought without action is abortion. Action without thought is folly. So in introduction, you can write from where those 2 lines are taken and who is the writer or the speaker, and 2 or 3 points about the speaker. You can see thought without action is abortion. Action without thought is folly. This line is taken from the lesson Opportunities for Youth, written by Jawaharlal Nehru. It is one of his inspiring speeches. Here you can add 1 or 2 points about his famous books like Discovery of India, or letters to his daughter, or his autobiography Towards Freedom. You can mention those 2 to 3 points in introduction part. Context and explanation means where he has used these lines and what is the main theme of those 2 lines. You can see. The essay deals with the significance of coordination between thought and action, which is lacking among young people. Nehru explains clearly how integration of thought and action is necessary. Every activity we do is preceded by thought. So Nehru stresses the putting one's thought into action is far better than making speeches. Every work we undertake should be preceded by a meticulous plan. The whole effort will become a futile exercise if thought and action are not properly coordinated. Thus, thought and action are interdependent. So here, first part you have to write introduction. Regarding the unit, you have to give title and written by the writer name and 2 or 3 points about the writer. Here only in textbook, it is given like Opportunities for Youth, written by Jawaharlal Nehru. It is one of his inspiring speeches. You can add some more points like his famous books and his autobiography, and he is the first Prime Minister of India. And you can write, we will celebrate Children's Day on his birthday, i.e. November 14th of every year. You can add these 3 to 4 points. If you add, it will be good. So the next, context and explanation, you have to give brief explanation regarding those 2 lines which is given in your textbook already. So second, we will try to. Happiness, after all, is an inner state of mind. It is little dependent on outside environment. So by becoming rich Some people think we are happy, but it is not dependent on outside environment. It is the inner state of our mind. So those people who are with good coordination between their thought and action, they are the happy people in their life. You can refer paragraph number 3 so that you can write context and explanation. So as you know, introduction is same for all annotation. So the same introduction of first annotation you can write for second also. Same, this line is taken from the lesson Opportunities for Youth written by Jawaharlal Nehru. It is one of his inspiring speeches, and whatever those extra points I told you to add, you can add. In context and explanation, you can write from third paragraph, you can select happiness has very little to do, for instance, with whether you are rich or not rich. Some of the most miserable persons I have come across in my life are the rich people. It is true that poverty makes one miserable in a very acute way, but my point is that means Nehru's point is that not wealth but coordination of one's thought and action which removes inner conflicts. It is in that way that integration of personality is achieved. We were engaged, as you know, in a very great moment in India because that moment was intimately concerned with the freedom of India. You can write these points. So, happiness doesn't depend on outside environment, it is the inner state of mind. So, which people's thought and action is coordinated, those people are happy, though they were not rich. You can add these points in that annotation, context and explanation. Next, you can take third. Great novels always make one think because they are pictures of life painted by great minds. For this also, you can write introduction, same as first and second. Context and explanation you can take from paragraph 12. So, while he was suggesting how to develop our art of thinking, he gave these two lines. Great novels always make one thing because they are pictures of life painted by great minds. So, here you can write in context and explanation. Nehru would like to do, first of all, is to think. Thinking is something which does not come automatically to a person. Gossiping with a neighbor is not thought if you repeat something which somebody else has said. It is not thought. I do not expect all of you to become mighty thinkers. So, some of you may, but I would like all of you to think and to develop the art of thinking. In this context, he explained how to develop our art of thinking. Nothing is more helpful to thinking than reading, that is reading intelligently, because hereby you get other people's thoughts and by weighing them you can think yourself. I have often said that is very unfortunate that people think and read so little nowadays, especially in India. I do not call newspaper reading, but any reading which makes you think is useful reading, even if it is a very good novel. So this is the context and explanation he expressed in these two lines. Like great novels always make one thing because they are pictures of life painted by great minds. So this is the context and explanation for the third annotation. You can write, you can select main points from this paragraph and you can write like context and explanation, means how we have to develop our art of thinking and how he expressed the newspaper reading is not reading. So it may a good book or at least a novel so that we can get the information of great minds from their life. So this is a third annotation you can write. And the fourth annotation, there will be always a need for the engineer and the scientist. They can't fade away even if the politician may fade away. You can refer paragraph 14. Because our country needs the services of engineers and scientists or other technicians, but not politician. What is the wrong perspective in our minds? The whole nation is in the hands of politician. It is not correct. So in that context, he explained there will be always a need for the engineer and the scientist. They cannot fade away even if the politician fade away. So you can write like this: context and explanation. It is not what you say that matters. You can take the 14th paragraph. The job of the politician will not build India, although I speak as politician. Here you can take I means Nehru. A politician is a useful person in his own way, though it is conceivable that in a perfect society, the politician will fade away, but it is not conceivable that the experts will fade away. There will be always a need for the engineer and the scientist. They cannot fade away even if the politician may fade away. However, I do not think the time is near when the politician will fade away. So, what are the main sources in building our nation? Pride. He explained the services of engineers and scientists, not the politician. So, this you can write under context and explanation. Next, coming to the question and answers. First question: what is happiness? What is happiness according to Jawaharlal Nehru? You can write one or two lines regarding unit also. You can mention Jawaharlal Nehru presents a number of important ideas about the significance of coordination between words and deeds, means thought and action. In the essay, he exhorts the youth to be strong in mind and body as success shuns the weak spirited. He analyzes the concept of happiness. Those who are strong in mind and body will lead a happy life. According to him, happiness is an inner state of mind. It does not rely, as many believe, on the outside environment. He cites the examples of rich people who may be miserable and poor people who may be very happy. Once happiness is not determined by wealth or power, one should ensure integration between thought and action to achieve happiness in life. So, what is happiness? So, not becoming rich or not being poor. So, whose action and deeds, action and thoughts are coordinated, they are the happiest people on the earth. So, this is the answer for first question. You can take second question. What quality of Gandhiji? So, in paragraph 6, you can take Gandhiji at close quarters. He had amazing quality. Gandhiji had amazing qualities. One of these qualities was that he managed to draw out the good in another person's. The other person may have had plenty of evil in him, but he somehow spotted the good and laid emphasis on that good. The result was that that poor man had to try to be good. He could not help it. He would feel a little ashamed when he did something. You can take these lines from text. Next, Nehru advises us to develop the art of thinking. How can one achieve this? Already we have discussed by reading. Okay. So, he wants to appeal, I would like you to do first, all of us, is to think. Thinking is something which does thinking is something which does not come automatically to a person. Gossiping with a neighbor is not thought. You can write all these lines again. If you repeat something which somebody else has said, it is not thought. I do not expect all of you to become mighty thinkers. So some of you may, but I would like all of you to think and to develop the art of thinking. Nothing is more helpful to thinking than reading. So how we can develop our art of thinking? By reading. That is reading intelligently, because thereby you get other people's thoughts, and by weighing them you can think yourself. I have often said that it is very unfortunate that people think and read so little nowadays. So we are not at all concentrating nowadays on reading other than textbooks, especially in India. I do not call newspaper reading, but any reading which makes you think is useful reading, even if it is a very good novel. Great novels always make one thing, because they are pictures of life painted by great minds. All these lines you can write for a C question. And the last question, the mere act of aiming at something big makes you big. Elaborate. So last para he will explain. If you are a scientist, one second. You can take from 16th paragraph. He is appealing to youth. If you are a scientist, think of becoming an Einstein, not merely a reader in your university. If you are a medical man, think of some discovery which will bring healing to the human race. If you are an engineer, aim at some new invention. The mere act of aiming at something big makes you big. These lines you can write under fourth question. So these are the annotations and question answers. Please try to write in your classworks so that you can develop your handwriting, and as well as once writing is equal to 10 times reading, it's better to write all the annotations and question answers without fail in your classworks, and do textual exercises also, which are given in your class, so that you can prepare well for your exam. So this is the class of today. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.